Well, greetings. I'm Javier Clorio from World of Sports, and we're very excited about this weekend because June 10th and 11th, we have the Silicon Valley Card and Collectible Show at 1600 Saratoga Avenue. Most of you guys that have been there love the show. This time we have some special guests throughout the weekend. We have Javon Hargrave from the 49ers, the new acquisition for the 49ers, Mary Gibbs, and Margaret Carey. And we also have our guest for today, Lester Quiñones from the Warriors. Lester, how are you?
What's going on? I'm doing good. Pleasure to have me. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. We're looking forward for you coming to the show for people meeting you on Saturday at 2 p.m. So just let them know you'll be at the show Saturday and invite them.
Yeah, Saturday, 2 p.m. You said it earlier where it's gonna be, but yeah, just come by, sign and stuff. Just want to meet people, see new faces, have a good time, and yeah, really just meet some people face to face, sign some stuff on.
Awesome. So now we want to know a little bit. We want to know a little bit more about you. I know that you're part Dominican, part from El Salvador. You're from New York. I used to live in New York. I love New York, but it's a very aggressive city. I don't know if you
Mhm.
agree with me, but it's aggressive. Just like getting on the subway, getting off the subway. People, rush to get everywhere. How was New York with you?
I mean, yeah, it was great. I kind of grew up there all my life. Um, I do agree with you. It's more of an aggressive setting, but I feel like it comes with just having so many people there, such a huge population of people. But grew up in Long Island, Brentwood, it's a town right in there in Brentwood. I kind of went through probably my junior year of high school is when I kind of really took that subway phase. So I had to take the subway every single day to go to school, kind of switch trains, like you said, hop on there, transfer to the 6th train, and take that subway route there. But that was smooth kind of growing up through there. Ending up here now in the Bay. Really loving it out here. Hoping to see a lot of people Saturday come out to the event. Like I said, meet some new people, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely, because it's just I remember I used to love the subway just because someone one day told me it was the great equalizer. I was born and raised in Mexico City. Then I moved to California. Then I moved to New York, and New York reminded me so much of Mexico City. And just that morning where you see like pocket top executives to people that are going to everyday jobs, that whole gamma, I don't think you get that everywhere. And that's why I really like
Hmm.
the subway in New York. Anything in special that you miss from New York? Any food, people?
The food for sure. I feel like it's hard in San Francisco kind of finding just like those local corner stores or delis where it's like they just have everything and then have the grill where you kind of get breakfast sandwiches and stuff like that. Um, that's probably the main part of it. But I mean, like I said, it's way, way more people in New York than what it is out here. So the population, I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure it's a huge difference between the two.
Awesome. I think that for me it's the pizza. I really like New York pizza.
The pizza for sure.
Yeah, I love the dollar pizza, the dollar pizza. So I was happy with that. Now also being in New York, I got to meet a lot of Dominicans. Your heritage is Dominican. How in touch are you with your heritage? With I don't know if you're gonna play with the Dominican team or not. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm planning on playing with them in the World Cup this year. So I'm actually Dominican, Puerto Rican, and Salvadorian. So having those three different types of Spanish, you would say, makes me very diverse. So I kind of see all three different cultures growing up. Being raised with my grandmother, who's more Dominican and Salvadorian, and then on my dad's side, having a Puerto Rican grandfather and stuff like that. So seeing both cultures has been great. But I'm probably leaning towards playing for DR this summer. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, it's just great to kind of represent a country where not a lot of people from there get to be in a position that I'm in.
Yes, and before we go into that, I want to talk a little bit with you because we're all put like, oh, you're Latino, so you get thrown into that box from Mexico all the way down to Brazil. Um,
Hmm.
I'm in New York. I started working with a lot of Dominicans, and at the beginning, it was hard for me to understand what they were saying because the Spanish is so fast. So it would go
Hmm.
from like
Hmm.
me like, "Hola, cómo está?" to like, "Pero mira que lo que tú vas a hacer, mira esto, pero lo otro, mira, colócale, bla, bla, bla." Then I'd be like, okay. Yeah, and we speak the same like it's still Spanish, but
Yeah, yeah, it's
it
very
was that
fast. Yes.
ya lo que me lo mira, and the food. And so when I was in New York, that's when I met more Dominicans. I hanged out with more
Hmm.
Dominicans. I
Hmm.
I um I ate more Dominican food. So like I love like I call them more plátanos, right? But it was like no
Yeah,
no no,
yeah, the
those are not
plátanos for
plátanos.
sure.
Those are maduros, the ones you put them here. And
Hmm. Hmm.
so that was the part. You was as Dominic growing up Dominican. What was the thing you identified the most in Dominican culture that you were like, I really like this?
For sure, I would say definitely the food. Like when my mother, this would probably be more the Puerto Rican side, I would say, but when she used to kind of make the arroz con gandules every single time, that was like a huge dish for me. So stuff like that, just having the different kind of seasonings and spices. Mom come with a lot of sazon and goya and stuff like that. So just growing up, I feel like the food was probably the best perk of all of that. Just eating that cultured food and that seasoned food growing up.
Now from El Salvador, the thing I like the most are pupusas.
Ooh, yes, for sure.
So I do love pupusas. El Salvador is one of the countries I'm trying to get to. Um,
Hmm.
I I don't know how you feel about it, but sometimes I feel like it's always that misconception that we have like, oh my God, it's so dangerous like to go to like Mexico. I just traveled to Colombia. Had a
Hmm.
great time. I had no idea what Colombia was besides that Pablo Escobar that we all get. So being in Colombia just like opened my eyes completely. And I travel a lot in Mexico. So
Hmm.
I was like always like have that thing. Does that happen to you with Dominican? The people are like, oh, are you gonna go back? Is it dangerous? Be careful, be
Oh
aware.
yeah, for sure. I feel like it's like that with everywhere though. Everywhere kind of has that one part where it's like people will say, "Don't go back there." I don't hear too many danger stories about Dominican Republic, but more so El Salvador for sure. With like the gang violence and stuff out there, I've heard a lot of like if you go out there, be safe and stuff. So mainly for El Salvador, mostly Puerto Rico. I don't think it's too much violence. People tell me about there either.
See? Now, tell us how it is like the life because we always want that to get that into what you guys go through, right? Like you're playing sports, you're where most people want to be. How is that life for you? Like you wake up in the morning, you train, then you do weights, then like you have to study. Can you tell like just go through a day of an intense day for you?
Um, I mean, it's for sure a commitment. It's definitely a grind. I feel like in this point in my career, I'm kind of used to it now because then you kind of get to like a person with an everyday job, the same thing. They get their routine where they just wake up every day and going to work and just have that like kind of drilled in their head. So, um, a normal day will probably be wake up. I'll just go through my schedule last week. I woke up like 6, ran at like 7 a.m. Just ran like 2 miles, quick cardio. Come back, eat breakfast. I'll probably do my first encore workout like 9 a.m. Do that for like an hour and a half, two. Then probably lift right after that at 12. Come back, relax a little bit, eat some lunch. Then probably go back to the gym like 3 o'clock to like 5. Shoot, probably get a bunch of shots up. Go to the weight room one more time and get some core for like 30 minutes. And then I'll probably be off the rest of the day. So from like 6 to the rest of the day I'll have free. But
Wow.
then it's kind of like just routine. Like I said, you get used to it.
Is there anyone you listen to? Is there anyone you take inspiration from or that you like to listen to that will get you going?
I listen to a lot of music, so it's kind of just depending on whatever my mood is that day. I'm one of those guys where I could play slow music, fast music, rap, R&B, all type of stuff while I'm working out in the gym. It's just however I'm feeling.
Now, do you also listen to a little bit of like that? I personally sometimes like to listen to those quotes and whatever they have, like from Kobe, from Jordan, from everything like back in the well, I'm old, but like from back in
Hmm.
that day, because we didn't have that back in the day. Back in the day, all you got to players was you would watch the game, you would watch the game at the time it was because you couldn't go like there was nothing to watch it later. So you
Hmm.
would watch it there. If not, you have to wait until the next day to watch the results. Um,
Hmm.
so now getting a little bit into like what you guys go through is at least something new that probably the past 20 years has brought in. But do you watch documentaries, something like that, or not into it?
Yeah, for sure. I do watch a lot of sports docs on it, but I do feel like nowadays, especially with social media, that just has a huge. It's crazy because I was talking with somebody about this the other day. Just for example, like somebody explaining like back in the day, if you went to like a Michael Jackson concert or something, you would have to like believe what the person is telling you. Like he did this and did that. Versus today, somebody could just show you that on the phone, or you saw it on YouTube or social media or something. So kind of that it takes away from the experience a little bit. So. I feel like it is definitely different than back in the day, but it could be to a little bit of an advantage because then you can gain more fans from that. A person doesn't have to fly across the country to see you; they could just watch you on their phone or watch you on TV or something. So I feel like it's pros and cons to it.
Nice. Now, when it comes to the traveling, you've been to a lot of places in the U.S., traveling throughout the U.S. Which ones do you like best? Do you even get to see the place, or you just arrive, play, and then you're on to the next?
Nah, I mean we always get there a day before, so you do have one day to kind of get there and look around and go through. But I would probably say LA. It has to be LA. Staying there in one of them hotels in Beverly Hills in LA, going down Rodeo and kind of seeing all that. That's a great experience.
Now, do you have you played with against the Los Capitanes here in Mexico
Mm-hmm,
City, or
mm-hmm.
how
Yeah,
how
yeah. I went
is
down there. We played them two games in 5 days, I think. So I was out there for 5 days. And no, it was good. The fans were amazing down there. I didn't expect it to be that big of an arena and that loud. They had the person beating on the drum in there. So it was a good experience down there.
Yes, I mean I'm really happy because as Mexican, now that we have the G League and we have real competitive basketball down here, it is great because it does bring a different sport because we're very accustomed to just soccer, 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 and they've
Mm-hmm.
done a great job because they do. It's the same atmosphere. People go out to the game, they cheer. We people love Los Capitanes out here. So it has been good. Now, how did it affect you in when it comes to cardio? Because it's a high city. So
I
how
felt it
was it?
1,000%, like 1,000%. I called my agent after the game. Like I never been through an altitude like this. It was probably worse than Denver too, because I played at Denver before, probably when I was younger. But you feel that like the first once tip off happens, that first counting back, it's like ooh, you could feel that. Like even in the warm ups too, like the layup lines, you're getting tired out there. So I feel like they definitely had the advantage there, practicing in that altitude every day, so their body's kind of used to it. But if anyone hasn't been there, I'm telling you, that's crazy the altitude out there.
Did you get to do something besides playing? Did you get to visit any tourist
I mean, I walked
places?
around a little bit, walked around the streets, went and got some food, kind of in the sightseeing a little bit. So I did walk around a lot and see some new things, ate some different stuff. So it was fun.
And now, like going back to what we were saying, that us as fans or the people commenting or the people that are behind, we all see it differently. A game, and I was watching some of the highlights of your games, and in one of them, something that caught my attention was what they were commenting, which was, um, he looks at the clock, he checks the time, he goes after it, and I think he's got it. And do you really think all that, or is this just this guy commenting has to say that in order to make it interesting? Are you really thinking the
I
clock
mean, yeah, for
is?
sure, 100%. It's just that just goes to show how advanced we are, to where like now it's just like second nature stuff like that. So like we don't realize how many things we're doing at once until somebody like that explains all the things we're doing. So I feel like that's what makes it special and separates us from being a professional athlete to a regular amateur athlete. Just having all those advantages and it kind of being second nature to you.
I know you just mentioned the word professional athlete, and you see yourself you were as a professional athlete today. But how was it? Because I mean, I know that you didn't get drafted on the draft. Then everyone today loves to talk about, like, there's this thing about failure now. Like everyone wants to talk about failure and how failure this and how failure that. But how did you overcome it? Like, how do you get up in that next day? It's like, I'm gonna go. Do you get a chip on your shoulder and work harder? Do you
Mhm.
say, okay, who do you talk to? What do you do?
I mean, like I said, really having my pops around. My pops was probably the main figure role model in my life growing up. Having him by my side and him always just pushing that narrative of having that kind of that Kobe Bryant mentality to where nobody in the world is gonna outwork you and just always working and the work will show. he kind of preached that to me all my life. So I kind of knew if I just stuck to the plan and stuck with it, that eventually it has to, like, the work has to show. So kind of just trying to be the hardest worker, working harder than anybody. What I kind of just did and locked in. And like I said, having my dad there by my side motivates me. My family, they motivate me to do it. And like I said, at this point in my career, it just became second nature now, to where it's just like getting up and putting your hat on and going to work every day. I'm just ready for the work.
I want to go back to your family, but before I go into it, you're having this 30-point games, 40-point games. You're doing great. How is it like if you have one of those great games, but you guys lose? How does it feel on a personal level and then on a team level? How do you put that together?
I mean, 100%. If we lose, I'm pissed. I'm one of those. If not, I'm one of the most competitive people. If you ask anybody around, I want to win at everything. So for sure, if we lose and I have a great game, I'm for sure not gonna care about how I played or the stats or anything. I'm one of those guys who wants to go out and win the game, even if I have zero and we win, as long as we won. Obviously, there's gonna be a little bit of like mental errors there with it, but I feel like that's selfish for somebody to kind of think about their stats and our team loss and stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm one of those guys where the win matters the most to me, just winning. So, um, I mean, it would be hats off, great game, but if we lost, I'm still gonna talk to the team and understand like it's stuff that we got to do. Maybe something I could have did better, someone else could have did better, but it's something there that made us lose, and we got to fix it.
And then how would you compare the pressure? Because I see that Santa Cruz was pretty impressed with most of the what I saw at from the games, the attendance and everything else. And then how do you compare that? You go from the Santa Cruz games to the Golden to San Francisco to the games. How would you compare that? Like, was there more pressure? Was it added pressure? How do you deal with
Um, I wouldn't say pressure because I went to University of Memphis for 3 years and we kind of we played in the FedEx Forum. So our home games were where the Grizzlies played their home games. So it was about 18 to 20,000, and we were kind of selling that out. So I feel like I'm kind of used to playing around like big crowds at this point in my career. So it's not pressure, but the difference is definitely felt though. You feel that difference from being there in Santa Cruz and then coming up and it being 20,000 sold out fans and stuff like that. So it's just I would say it's not that huge of a jump. No, actually it is. It's a huge jump, but the fans down in Santa Cruz for sure do a wonderful job with the attendance that they have and just the consistency of how the crowd is just engaged every night. It's just amazing down there, and I had a great time down there.
And does the pressure change as into now with your teammates? Because they're your teammates at Santa Cruz, and then you go to, I don't want to make that, but I mean it is true. Then you go with guys that are stars, have been stars. How does that change mentally, and how do you adapt to that?
Just it makes you lock in mentally 100% more. It kind of clicks that next gear in you to where it's like, all right, I go from being the best player down here on this team to almost the back of the bottom of the guy on the top team. So it does go by rank. So I feel like just knowing that my leash is a little bit shorter than everybody else, so my mistakes or seeing somebody else's mistake and knowing, okay, I can't do that because that makes the coach upset, or knowing the little things that he likes and knowing I'm gonna strive hard at that. So stuff like that, you just lock in more. And I feel like that's what kind of separates dudes from making that jump, understanding that.
Brandon, you mentioned that. How do you walk into a locker room and they be like, "Hey, what's up, Steph?" or "What's up, Draymond?" or how, because in a way you're like, oh, kind of like me, a fan, but also you also want to be cool. How
hmm
do you handle that?
I mean, now at this point, it's like my whole life, like you said, my whole life I've been a fan. So kind of just watching them and being with them now, they turn into my coworkers now. So now I'm working with them and they're my teammates. So I have to look at it on a different level, kind of be mature about it and know that. But for sure, I grew up being a Stephen Clay fan all my life. Even starting playing basketball, Stephen Clay and Carmelo were probably the first three dudes I watched. So it was surreal kind of walking in and seeing their lockers and stuff. But now at this point, like I said, I got to go to work and try to be better than them. You know what I mean?
And now being with Coach Steve Kerr, how is it? How mentally, like how does he prepare? How does he prepare you guys to the game? Because I mean, I think he's one of the best coaches right now, and strategically he's great. So how does that help you?
I mean, he's good because he's one of those coaches who he doesn't coach the first guy different than the 15th guy. He's one of those where he holds everybody accountable. So if the 15th guy and the first guy make the same mistake, they're held on the same level. It's no higher or upper. So he's great on that discipline end, and just him being a player already played, he understands certain things that a player doesn't knows that coaches don't know. Even for other great coaches, he's played before. So he kind of knows things differently and knows schemes and spots that other coaches don't know.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned family, and I wanted to ask you about your family. How close are you with your family? How has that kept you? Because I believe that having a close family helps you a lot in order to achieve your goals. You say you have a great relationship with your dad. How is your relationship with the rest of your family?
Um, I was raised by my grandmother, my mom, my dad, both grandmothers. So I'm pretty close with everybody. I'm the oldest of five. I have two younger siblings. They're twins. They're four. Uh, Younger sister who's 12. No, she just turned 13, and another sister who's 15. So me being the oldest of all of us, it's kind of just great to be that role model in the family and the person who kind of everybody in the family looks up to. So just having that role is just great and amazing. I have a close relationship with my mom, with my dad, both grandmothers. I'm a huge family guy, so I'm one of the guys who always puts family first.
Brandon, you mentioned it. Your mom, your dad, your grandma's strict because I mean, many people might not know, but Latinos are strict. Like they are. There's no messing around. There's like chancla. There's no like. Oh, if you spank me, I'm gonna call the cops. There is no. Like, it doesn't work like that.
We've
Um,
definitely raised us a little harder for sure. Yeah, yeah. My grandma on my mom's side, that's my Latina grandma for sure. She raised me on that. Very strict, very everything. So that was pretty fun.
so let's be strict with people. Let's let them know that you're gonna be over there on Saturday to show up at 1600 Saratoga Avenue at 2 p.m. I'm sure that you want to meet up with the fans, talk to the fans. The fans always have a different perspective, so I'm sure that they want to talk with you, chat with you about our games and everything. So let them know that you'll be there.
What's going on? Lester Quiñones here. Want to let you guys know to be there Saturday at 1600 Saratoga Ave. I'll be there signing autographs, signing things. You could bring anything in. I'll sign it for you. We could chat a little bit. Nice little meet and greet. Want to see some new faces and excited to meet the fans.
And also, I was told that you speak Spanish, so I know the Bay Area is super, super diverse. So if you want to do an invitation in Spanish, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. Todo mi gente, sábado. Damn, I forgot the address. What was the address?
Bueno, that's a difficult one. La dirección es 1600 Saratoga Avenue
Okay,
en San
1600
José.
Saratoga Avenue. Okay. Mi gente, ven sábado a what is it?
1600 Saratoga Avenue.
1600 Saratoga Avenue. Okay. 1600 Saratoga Avenue. That's good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
A las 2 de la tarde.
Okay. A las 2 de la tarde, 1600. What is it? My fault. I'm sorry.
1600, no te preocupes. Es 1600 Saratoga Avenue. Ahí va a estar super estrella de la NBA, un latino del cual tenemos que estar orgulloso, el cual estamos seguros que va a jugar con República Dominicana en las Olimpiadas. Así es que ahí está, Lester. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, man. We look forward to having you at the Westgate Mall for a card and collectible show this Saturday.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it. Now, pleasure having me. It was a great interview. Thank you for everything.
thanks, man. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you.